Hello everyone to Electric News Highlights, weekly news about the electric car world. And I know these news don't come out every week all the time because sometimes there are not enough news to make a whole video. These news are brought to you by Tronity. You have a business and you have company cars and they're electric and your employees want to charge at home. Of course, it's easier for them and it's cheaper for you because usually charging at home is cheaper. And how can you do that? The easiest way, how can you know how much you have to pay your employee for charging? And it's with Tronity, with a software solution. In the fleet manager of Tronity, you can see all of your employees, all the electric cars. Tronity connects to those cars and it knows when the car is charging at home. You just put in what it costs to charge the car at home at the employee and then you get a monthly bill automatically from Tronity what the car has charged at home. It's amazing. If you want to know more, there's a link in the description below. BYD MW Charging. BYD is expanding its charging infrastructure for the new BYD Han and Tang, which both new cars can now charge with more than 1,000 kilowatt, which is amazing. And of course you need a special charger for this. And in the beginning BYD already installed around 500 chargers in China, but they want to expand. Up to 15,000 chargers are planned with another company that they will build them all over China. But they also want to expand in other countries. In Europe, for example, they're planning till the end of the year to start construction on megawatt charging for BYD cars in Europe. Vehicle-to-grid experiment. In Sweden, Ambibox and another Swedish company are trying an experiment with vehicle-to-grid. If you don't know, Volkswagen cars can do vehicle-to-grid and vehicle-to-house with a special DC charger, and Ambibox is building one of those chargers. They took a little town in Sweden and gave it 200 Volkswagen ID cars and this Ambibox, and they're trying out what the grid has to handle, what are the problems with it, what is amazing. It's great that they started such a project. Will be very interesting. The Ambibox is a bit on the pricey side. So it's a DC charging box at home that you plug in and then the house and the grid can take power out of the car. But of course it's limited, and with Volkswagen it has to be the big 77 kilowatt hour battery or bigger. The smaller batteries as the 59 or the 52 cannot use this. Allego Plug and Charge. Allego just rolled out an update to all of their hyperchargers all over Europe, 5,000 chargers, an update that now you can charge with Plug and Charge at those locations. What is that? It means that if you plug in your car and your car can support Plug and Charge and you put in a payment method, then the car will talk to the charger and vice versa, and it will start charging without you having to authorize the charging session, which is pretty cool and amazing. But Allego is using a new protocol, OCPP 2.0.1 standard. It's more secure and it supports faster communication, that the starting process already starts fast. It doesn't take as long till the starting process can start. Allego is the first to use this standard for plug and charge on their chargers. We'll see when the others have that too. Wireless charging highway. We all heard about this wireless charging of electric cars, and in Germany a new test stretch on the highway A6 around Nuremberg. There's a new test highway where they will try to test out how a wireless charging of an electric car could work. It's a 1 kilometer stretch. And at the end of the year, they will start driving on this highway and see what the problems are with this, or if it's just amazing. They say wireless charging a car is very efficient, 90% efficient, which is amazing. That means if you put in 1 kilowatt of power, 900 watt go into the car, and they have to see in this 1 kilometer how much power really works, does go into the battery. Is it a problem there? Is heat? What if something else is driving over this? And all of this. It's a great thing. They did that in Sweden before. I don't know how long that stretch was there, but now we have it in Germany as well. More chargers for the Germany net. I said it many times before here. Germany had a plan a few years ago that we want to do the Deutschland nets, the Germany net, where chargers are everywhere for electric cars. The plan was first in different areas, so on country roads, in the city and stuff, little areas where every 30 kilometers or 20 kilometers there have to be a charger, and it has to be minimum of 200 kilowatt power, and it has to be a minimum of 4 or 6 stalls, I can't remember. And they did the same thing for the highway, so that it doesn't matter where you are, every 20 kilometers there, when you go off, there's a charger there. And then certain companies were selected to build all of those chargers, and a few have started. Number one was ENH. They have their first charging hub in Fürth, 8 hyperchargers or 16 charging stalls, and BYD Germany. That's a company that usually has like Home Depot and so we would buy, I don't know, plants and stuff for your yard and stuff like this, but they also have a charging infrastructure, and they also have started their first charging hub in Rosenheim, 8 hyperchargers as well, 16 charging stalls. So it's going forward. Ford F-150 Lightning recall. 25,000 cars have to go back to the dealer, and they have to be checked in the United States where the F-150 Lightning is being sold. And it's not an electric car problem at all. It has nothing to do with the software or that the car is electric. When they built the cars, and it's cars from February 24 to April of 25, like I said, 25,000 cars in this time. There might be a bolt that they haven't screwed on perfectly as it has to be. So the cars go to the dealer, someone goes in, checks if it's the right torque, and if it's fine, you can go off. If not, they do it to the right thing, and then you go on. So it's not a big deal, but they have to do it. EV sales in Germany for May. 43,000 cars have been registered in Germany in May, and again the Volkswagen ID.7 is on top with 3,100 cars. That's 7.3% of all the EVs sold in May. Under the first 10 we have 8 times the Volkswagen group with Audi, Skoda, Cupra, and on spot 9 there's a BMW iX, and on spot 10 there's the Hyundai Insta with over 1,000 cars registered in May, which is amazing. And some news to the channel. Right now I have in the garage the Ford Explorer extended range all-wheel drive. It was a nice time. I have to say the car is pretty good, and it has the 79 kilowatt hour battery, and I haven't tested an SUV all-wheel drive with this 79 kilowatt hour battery that is now in the ID.4 GTX, and I think even in the Skoda Enyaq RS, because back in the day when I tested the ID.4 GTX with the new hardware, it still had the 77 kilowatt hour battery, and it looks like you get a tiny bit more power. It was the fastest accelerating MEB platform car I've ever tested, 5.07 seconds or so from 0 to 100, which is awesome, really great. But I only have it for 10 days. Tomorrow it's going to be picked up, and then on Friday I have to go to Munich and pick up the Tesla Model Y Juniper all-wheel drive. I only have it for a week. Tesla doesn't deliver cars like any other manufacturers. I have to pick it up myself, but it's fine. So for a week I will drive Tesla and see if the new Model Y is really more comfortable, if it drives better, because I wasn't the fan when it comes to comfort of the old Model Y or the Model 3. The Model 3 facelift didn't improve that much. It was still a very, very sporty car. Suspension and everything is not very comfortable. We'll see how the Model Y is. If you want to follow me on Instagram, BatteryLife1, and if you want to support the channel, there's a Patreon link in the description below. And here on YouTube, there's also channel membership. And if you want to know what's happening behind the scenes, I have a third YouTube channel, Behind the Battery. But that's it for me. Thank you much for watching. Have a great day and take care. Bye.